Hi guys, I'm Eva. Welcome back to my channel, The Inked Reader. If you watched my previous video, you know today is my filming day. I'm filming a bunch of stuff and then uploading that on my channel because I've been absent for a couple of weeks before I've done this filming day. So yeah, I am catching up, and without further ado, today I've got very long, bloody long TBR for you. I decided to read a book by an author for each country of the world. And I'm not talking about, just, one book for Australia, one book for Europe, one book for Africa, and all that. No, I really like to overcomplicate things for me. And what I'm saying with this, I don't mean by continent. So one book for America, one book for Africa, one book for Europe, and so on. No. I mean, I'm gonna pick a continent and then I'm gonna read a book by an author from each country of that continent, which means I'm gonna probably take around 5 years, if not more, to complete this challenge. Why I'm doing this, I honestly don't know. I thought it was a good idea. Then I started compiling the TBR and I thought, it must be one of the shittiest ideas you ever had, Eva. And I've had some pretty bad ideas, so but these on my channel might take the cake. But said that, I worked at this TBR really long because some of these country don't have really translated works. So that was fun. And I came up with a list. Might change because I might actually get my hands on a book, find out that that author came from that country, say, oh, brilliant, I'll use that for that. Be kind with me because this is really hard and harder than you think it could be. So I am gonna start with Europe as a continent. Reason being is I'm European. I guess that's the only reason I have. I'm Italian, I am Czech, so mixed blood, but all European blood that I'm aware of. And I decided to start with my continent. I compiled this list of each country. I'm just gonna read. I'm not gonna give you any synopsis, otherwise we're gonna be here until tomorrow morning. I'm just gonna tell you and put pictures of the cover if I can find it. I am gonna butcher the majority of his names. So I went on the list where there is listed all the countries in the European continent, not European Union, just for your information, every country in the continent. And I'm gonna go in alphabetic order, tell you the country and tell you the book and show you the picture. And this takes a lot of editing, so I really hope you enjoy. Let's start with A. The first one is Albania. Again, I have an Italian pronunciation for me, so sorry if I'm butchering the name of a country in English. I'm used to pronounce them a different way. So Albania, and I've got Sworn Virgin. And then technically we would have Andorra, but some country I couldn't find anything, so I just keep those. Andorra being one of them. Apologies. Armenia, and this is Goodbye Bird by Aram something. For Austria, I have Men Searching for Meaning, and this actually is a book that I already got, and this is by Viktor E. Frankl, and this is actually non-fiction about this man who survived the Holocaust, and he tells us about when he was in the Nazi camps and his experience and what he's learned about life. So I'm really looking forward to this. Azerbaijan, and we got All Russians Love Birch Trees, something of the sort. Belarus, I don't know how you pronounce that. Voices from Chernobyl, and again this is a non-fiction book. I think the author Svetlana something, she kind of recounts stories of people that experienced or lived through Chernobyl, the disaster of Chernobyl. I looked for books that did not take place in those countries, but books by authors born or that are citizens of those countries. So it's about the author, not where the book takes place. Just keep that in mind. Belgium, we got Peter Latvian, I think that's how you pronounce that. I don't know anything. Bosnia, I'm butchering the name, and Herzegovina, that's how I would say that. I know it's probably wrong in English, but anyway. I think this is called The Bridge to Drina or something of the sort, and it looks like it's a big book. I hope it's not. Bulgaria, and we've got The Physic of Sorrows. I don't know anything about that. It might sound like a non-fiction, but I might be wrong. Croatia. This is actually a collection of short stories by Croatian author, and it's called Zagreb Noir. Sounds interesting. Then we would have Cyprus. Didn't find anything from there. If you have recommendations, then please do, but keep in mind that the author has to be from there and it has to be translated in English. Czech Republic, Immortality. It's called by Mila something. From Denmark, I'm gonna read Smila, Sense of Snow. I believe this is pretty popular. I think this is also a movie. I will maybe, if I'm not too scared, proceed to watch the movie after the book. Estonia, The Man Who Spoke Something. It's gonna be fun getting my hands on some of these books, is it? From Finland, I'm gonna read My First Murder. I think this is the beginning of probably a detective series of a sort. From France, I'm gonna finally read The Count of Monte Cristo, and this is by Dumas, and I own it. It's in Italian, but again, it's a huge book, but I heard so many good things about that, so I'm really looking forward to actually read that. From Georgia, we have, it's got Samad something Margarita. I'm so good at this. I'm so good. It's a really brilliant idea. From Germany, I'm gonna read Perfume by Susskind, and I own the book someplace. It's here behind me, and I'm really looking forward to reading that. From Greece, I'm gonna read a book called Why I Killed My Best Friend, which sounds intriguing. Hungary, Vidor, I think it's called. Iceland, Angels of the Universe, and it's called like that. From Ireland, I'm gonna finally read a book that has been on my TBR for ages, which is Into the Woods by Tana French, which is the start of this detective series again. Italy, yeah, of course, continuing on the Elena Ferrante series, and I have to read the third book in this quartet. I'll put the cover of the English title because I just remember the one in Italian, but in here, these are all translated in English, by the way, so you can get your hands on that. This series was circulating around BookTube a couple of years ago. It was really popular. I'm loving the writing style. I don't know how it translates because I read them in Italian, but oh boy, she can write. From Kazakhstan, which I honestly had no idea it was in Europe, I'm gonna read The Day Lasts More Than 1,000 Years, I think it's called. Then we got Kosovo, but I couldn't find any translated work. Latvia, I think you pronounce it. And I'm gonna read Soviet Milk. And then from Liechtenstein, couldn't find anything. Then we got Lithuania, and I got this book called Forest of the Gods. Luxembourg, I'm gonna read The Edge of the Night. Couldn't find anything from Malta. But then we got Moldova. I'm gonna read The Good Life Elsewhere, and this is by Vladimir something. I couldn't find anything from Monaco, but I found from Montenegro, Lullaby for No Ones. Next we got the Netherlands. I'm gonna read Hex. And I think, I don't know if it's a paranormal or like horror or something along those lines. Then from North Macedonia, I've got Freud's Sister. And I think this is a fictional book on what happens to Freud's sister. I might be wrong, it might be non-fiction, but I think it's fiction. We'll see. From Norway, I'm gonna continue on the Jo Nesbø series. I really enjoyed his first book, so I'm gonna continue on. I think it's Cockroaches, the second book in the series, but I need to read. These are really grim detective stories. From Poland, I'm gonna continue on with the Witcher series. I have read, so I've played the video games ages ago, loved the Witcher series, the video games, so recommended. And then I went back to read the book, so I've read the prequel to everything, like it's a collection of short stories, and now I need to read the first book. I own it, it's someplace here, but I'm too lazy to get up and find it. Portugal, I am gonna read a book called Death with Interruptions. From Romania, I'm gonna read a book called Bengali Nights. I presume this doesn't take place in Romania at all, but the author was from Romania. And then from Russia, which I know it's also in Asia, but it's also in Europe, that's Lolita by Nabokov. It's bloody time. I've started that book when I was a kid, and then I stopped for obvious reasons. So now I'm an adult, I think I can do it again. I can finish that. Then I couldn't find anything from San Marino. which is a really tiny country. Couldn't find anything from Serbia, so sorry about that. From Slovakia, I've got The Night Circus and Other Stories, and this is a collection of short stories, of course. And then from Slovenia, we've got The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I guess it's a fantasy book. From Spain, I'm gonna continue on with Zafon series. I've read The Shadow of Wind, which is probably my favorite book in the last years. Definitely top 3 favorite books of all times. And so I'm gonna continue on with the third book, which is I think Prisoners of Heaven. From Sweden, I was so glad to discover that Fredrik Backman, I think you say, is actually Swedish. And I'm gonna read Bear Town because I've heard so many praises about this author and I've been so looking forward to reading any of his works. So yeah, Bear Town. From Switzerland, I'm gonna read The Visit. From Turkey, I'm gonna read The Three Daughters of Eve. Actually, when I went on Goodreads, this was on my TBR on Goodreads, so that was nice to find out that was by a Turkish author. From Ukraine, I'm gonna read Death and the Penguin, which I honestly, when I read this title, I was like, if I ever write a proper book, published book, this is the perfect title. And I envy you for finding that. I mean, Death and the Penguin, just, it's an association that, you know, I couldn't have come up with, so I was really curious. And then we got United Kingdom. I think it's finally time for me to read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I think it's about bloody time. I've been living here for, what, 8 years now, and I've not read it yet. I'm ashamed of myself. And then I couldn't find anything from Holy See, the Vatican. Also, I'm not really religious, and basically only the Pope and priests live there. So I don't think we're gonna write anything that I might be particularly interested in. I might regret saying this one day. Who knows? But for now, that's how it is. Thank you for watching this really long TBR. Of course, basically, because there are only 12 months in the year, I'm gonna tackle only 12 of these books. So there is a total of 51. So only to go through Europe is just like years. But again, if I find other books that are by authors that I didn't know were from my country, then I can kind of tackle both. If it makes sense. I'm not too rigid about this TBR. Because again, there are so many countries, so I will always look at the authors of the books I pick up in any other reading challenges. If any of those are belonging to a country that are in Europe, don't want to cheat too much, but then I will kind of say, oh yeah, I've read these instead of that, and I can read another book. For example, I pick up a book and say, oh, this actually author is from Sweden, so you know what I do? I'm gonna cancel Sweden from my TBR because I've already read these in my horror TBR, for example, and then I'm gonna pick up another book from the European country TBR for that month, if it makes sense. So in that case, I will have read two, and just, yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna really take ages to finish this reading challenge. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm gonna see you next time. I'm gonna go and edit this now, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the day at the computer trying to find covers. Take care. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Ciao. by Charlotte Bronte. I think it's about bloody time. I've been living here for what, 8 years now, and I've not read it yet. Yeah, that's just, I'm ashamed of myself. And then I couldn't find anything from Holy See, the Vatican. Also, I'm not really religious, and basically only the Pope and priests live there. So I don't think we're gonna write anything that I might be particularly interested in. I might regret saying this one day, who knows? But for now, that's how it is. Thank you for watching this really long TBR. Of course, basically, because there are only 12 months in the year, I'm gonna tackle only 12 of these books, probably. So there is a total of 51. So only to go through Europe is gonna probably take me around, so only to go through Europe is gonna probably take me 3-4 years. Around 12, 24, 36. So only to go through Europe is just like years. But again, if I find other books that are by authors that I didn't know were from my country, then I can kind of tackle both, if it makes sense. I'm not too rigid about this TBR, because again, there are so many countries. So I will always look at the authors of the books I pick up in any other reading challenges. If any of those are belonging to a country that are in Europe, don't want to cheat too much, but then I will kind of say, oh yeah, I've read this instead of that, and I can read another book. So if I set out to do so, just if they're from Europe, this is what I mean. I don't want to cheat too much, but what I mean is, for example, I pick up a book and say, oh, this actually author is from Sweden. So you know what I do? I'm gonna cancel Sweden from my TBR because I've already read these in my horror TBR, for example, and then I'm gonna pick up another book from the European country TBR for that month, if it makes sense. So in that case, I will have read two, and just, yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna really take ages to finish this reading challenge. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm gonna see you next time. I'm gonna go and edit this now, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the day at the computer trying to find covers. Take care. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Ciao.